Things to cover here, but I look to Dr. Sherwood. Are we moving?
Joe Biden, wake up. Joe Biden, wake up. 9/11.
One of the things that I strongly believe is
Joe Biden, wake up.
I should probably go home. I'm tired.
Joe Biden, wake up.
Joe. I'm tired.
Joe Biden,
What's happening?
Joe Biden, 9/11.
What's happening?
Joe. Hello, Mr. President. Wake up.
You should have to pay nearly $6,400 more than you would today.
This is my favorite thing, almost favorite thing that ever existed on the internet. Joe Biden, wake up. 9/11. Joe Biden, wake up. I'm tired. What's happening? All right, I gotta scrap that song stuck in my head now because of Biden's face deep fake put on the kid from that movie playing the banjo. So I think of that Billy Bayou song. It's like, Billy, Billy Bayou, watch where you go. You're walking on quicksand, walk slow. Billy, Billy Bayou, watch what you say. Pretty girl, get you one of these days. So, this is a fun song. It's by, what's his face? What's that guy's name? Roger Miller. Is that his name? Something like that. So, I checked this video. It shouldn't get any copyrights. Because what you can do with YouTube, I don't know if anybody knows this, but here's a good tip for you guys. Oh, my camera's too high. If you want to know if something will be copyrighted, and remember, even if something has a certain type of copyright, if you pause it like every minute or every 30 seconds to a minute, I think it gets past it, or at least lets you post it, but it gives you like a notice, or maybe it puts more commercials in your stream or something. I don't know. But what you can do is you can try to upload it first and let it go through all the checks, and it'll tell you what level of copyright is on it. There might not be anything on it. If there's nothing on it, then you already know. So just, especially if they're short clips, just upload them to YouTube. Don't publish them, and it'll tell you. So I did that beforehand, and these videos, I don't even have to pause them. That I got prepared, which is pretty cool. I didn't check the cartoon one, but I'm not going to show that. That's on the Telegram. It's called Last Job on Earth. It's a little depressing, but it's like, yeah, that's basically like everybody's going to say it. The closer it gets to it, everybody's going to say it, but it's like they have no real skill and they're hungry. So they're like, Catbot 2.0, I got to download it or else I can't eat. So watch the video on Telegram, link in the bio. There's a video on the homepage of YouTube, or of my YouTube page. And it has the video showing you how to do it, but the link is right there on the bio. And you just have to download Telegram. It's pretty good. It uses your own phone's internet, so it's better if you have an unlimited plan, because it's hard to keep track of what's downloading in the background when you're looking at stuff. So, like, because it has to download a little bit to give you a preview. So if you don't have an unlimited plan, you have to like set up certain things so that it doesn't use up too much of your data. Most people have unlimited plans now. They want you to use these things. They need it. They need more blood pumping You know what I mean? So that's why things, even if certain phones are like $500 or $1,000, they still want you to have it. So that's why they're putting this whole universal income thing and all that, because they want you to buy the basics of their technology that you need to use it in order to increase its power. It's in all these movies, it's in books. It's a spiritual principle, it's a physical principle. It's not fantasy. That's why so many people write about it. They write about it in a direct, realistic way. They write about it in a fantasy way, in like a Narnia book or a Never-Ending Story or whatever. So you know what? I'm gonna get into the videos after some time has passed, just because of the topic of it, even though there's no copyright or anything on it. But I wanted to look this up, and I forgot to before I started. But you know how I talk about Joctonites? It says he will be small. Um, but it's not necessarily talking about physical size, because David was the smallest of his brothers. Sorry, I'm looking something up. Looking up the lyrics to something. It's that it was talking about a yod, a fist. His power will be very small physically, but that's why they do the magic, and they're a scant measure from the Shemites. They're basically Smeagol. They tell you Smeagol is a hobbit. He killed his brother. He's a hobbit who emulated Cain. And I think it was his brother or his friend that he killed for the ring. Doesn't matter, brother, friend. If they're like fishing together and they're like, what do they call them, bosom buddies, then yeah, they're like brothers. It doesn't matter. That's probably what's being portrayed. I don't know if it was his brother or his friend. Pretty sure it was his friend. But it doesn't matter. It's like they might as well have been brothers. And he flatters a lot. He calls everybody love. When he wants something from them, he calls them, oh, love, can you give it to me? It's like, it's really weird. So Smeagol is Joktan, basically. And see, he has this like third person way of speaking. Let's see. So this is a song by Pink Floyd. It's called The Gnome. It's describing Joktan, though. Because, of course, you know, gnomes in your yard, it's idolatry. It's like, it has to do with fairies. Remember, I think I went over how fairies are basically just bad spirits. They're not good. Or what makes them lose power, according to one of the Peter Pan movies they made. I forgot which one it was, because they made so many different types. Somewhere a boy is playing Peter Pan, somewhere a girl is playing Peter Pan. It's really weird. So I don't know which one it is, but when you say I don't believe in fairies, that's what kills them. It's like, that's weird. That doesn't sound like a good thing. That sounds like a bad thing. But you see how they make the fairies a good thing. And fairies are Zana, and Zan and Zana comes from harlotry. So they're little tiny spirits of harlotry. That's why Tinkerbell is portrayed as a scantily clad woman who's insecure about how she looks. Literally, she looks at her butt in a mirror in a children's movie and goes like, oh, I'm not good enough. It's like, why is this in a children's movie? This is sick. Anyway, so it says, I want to tell you a story. They like telling stories. Listen to my story, you must will. It's like little green, disgusting things. You see how that's the yod? It's not being short. It's not just being short. or whatever. It's your power. Your yod is small. And it doesn't even have to mean reproductively. It's talking about it doesn't matter what their physicality is, they're a small person on the inside. I've seen 6'7" people who are Joktan. So don't think that just short people are automatically Joktan. I've seen 6'7" Joktanites. Because okay, if you read history, you know that royal families even bred midgets for entertainment. It's in history. They bred small people for entertainment on their way to various places. They would take midgets with them. It's Joktan. They know things. They have a knowledge. Why does a king have this? Oh, it's entertainment. It's like, yeah, they can be funny. You know, Wee Man, all these different ones in TV. Yeah, they're funny. They're entertaining, but it's like, come on. Just because they're entertaining, I don't know. I think they're Joktanites and they know something. They have word magic. Why do you think the Oompa Loompas sing their weird mystery songs? Because they're Joktanites. We have a riddle for you. See how the Riddler wasn't really short in the comics, but the Riddler's a Joktanite. His power is small though, because remember when Jim Carrey at least depicts him, he's very, very skinny. In all the depictions of him, he's skinny. I don't think they've ever depicted the Riddler not skinny. So he's a Joktanite because he's very, very weak. And so he uses words and riddles for Batman. You can't make this stuff up. So let me get back to this. I want to tell you a story about a little man, if I can, a gnome named Grimble Crumble. And little gnomes stay in their homes, eating, sleeping, drinking their wine. Grimble Crumble. I always thought it was Grumble. Maybe it is Grumble. It sounds like he's saying Grumble, but he's English, so I don't know. He wore a scarlet tunic. Remember Achan? What did Achan do? He coveted a scarlet cloak or tunic or something like that from Shinar, and a bar of gold and something else. A blue-green hood, it looked quite good. I have a poem somewhere where it talks about this weird ethereal light that's blue-green. That's the color of the television casts on a wall in a dark room. It's always that blue-green light. So it's like, oh, he's wearing a scarlet tunic. And we already went over this. I'm not going to repeat it. Go in the past episodes. Scarlet tunic, blue-green hood. So his hood, his head, you're supposed to be a helmet of salvation. He has a blue-green hood, the color that the television casts, coincidentally. He had a big adventure amidst the grass, fresh air at last, whining, dining, biding his time. Biden isn't short. He's very, very weak, isn't he? He likes to tell stories. Whining, dining, biding his time. So this kind of is like the TV, or it's like having the kingdoms and the religious system working for you. And so you're just biding your time and having a good time. He had a big adventure amidst the grass. That's the masses. That's the masses of people. And then one day, hooray, another way for gnomes to say, oh my. So it just sounds like a silly lyric, right? Until you realize that Joktanites use language as their defense and as a weapon to confuse people. So just another day and another way for gnomes to say something. They're always making up a new phrase. Look at the sky, look at the river. Isn't it good? winding, finding places to go. Then one day, hooray, another way for gnomes to say. So they're just leisure. It's all about leisure. That's not what paradise is. Paradise, you had a job in paradise. So Adam was put in paradise to work the ground and to keep it. You weren't doing nothing. Nothing is boring. But yeah, this song just describes the jock dance. I thought it was pretty interesting. So what was I gonna get into? I think I'll just read this other lyric since it's only been 16 minutes. It's Lucky to Be Alive by My Morning Jacket, I think it is. And it's a really, really okay. It's so crazy. The technology came, stole my living again. Ain't nobody buying records no more. Oh well, they cut off all the bread. No. Oh well, they cut off all the bread that used to keep us fed. So thanks for coming to the show. I love that song. The technology came and stole my living again. Ain't nobody buying records no more. Oh well, they cut off all the bread that used to keep us fed. So thanks for coming to the show. You know I ain't gonna crawl and I ain't gonna beg. I'm gonna write my own rules for life. And so I'll head out on the road. You know we're gonna make it work. I feel lucky to be alive. And it's talking about like just being lucky to be alive, right? This band doesn't get a lot of recognition. It's pretty good. I mean, some of it's not uh my usual taste in music, but a lot of it sounds like the guitar sounds like Pink Floyd, and it's a very classic rock sound. It says strung out on the road, I get sick from the cold. I feel lucky to be alive. Blasted in my brain, I get high and feel no pain. I feel lucky to be alive. See the transition though, the type of road it's going down. Well, it's been getting out of hand, so I'll make a new plan. I feel lucky to be alive. Well, I'll forget about the stress and just watch the sunset. I feel lucky to be alive. Sunset. It's Ra. That's talking about death. Methuselah. Shemiramoth. My morning jacket. In scripture, it talks about the morning is the reign of Messiah, the resurrection. That's why it's not the devil in Isaiah. It's a Babylonian king called Hillel, the enlightened one. It says, fallen are you, Hillel, son of the morning. In other words, it's a man who is enlightened to know all this stuff I'm telling you and still do the Kabbalistic way. Because it says, how fallen are you, you who said that I will travel to the corners of the north. Admiral Byrd. And I'll rise above the assembly of Elohim, and I will sit and be El Elyon. That's what he says in his heart. He doesn't even do it. See, it's like they go to the North Pole and they're like, yeah, there's nothing we can do here. So then they try to ascend with rockets and all this stuff. But the farther up you go, the closer to fourth dimensional perception you're getting, and it's a three-dimensional detection system. You can't do it. It's just going to keep, you know how you go in circles in the desert because you're all woozy and hot and tired and thirsty? That's what happens when a rocket goes up. All of a sudden, remember in a good example is the original Peter Pan, the original Disney Peter Pan. When they start going towards the star, what happens? It's like all this weird stuff starts. It's like they depicted it in the real like trippy way in one of the newer ones from like 5 or 10 years ago or something like that. Peter Pan, where they made it look super cosmic. It was crazy. Like they were going through like a portal. And I'm like, that's basically what happens. The rockets go up. It's like all of a sudden they're entering something that isn't what they tell us it is. So all of a sudden the perception starts expanding in ways that a three-dimensional object can't even process. So it's like it's like in the desert when you're going in circles. It's gonna go down, or it's gonna straighten out until it runs out of gas, and then it just you can't. And people want to say that that's prove it, prove it, prove what's making your heart beat. You can get one of those LED light strips and put your finger on some of the metal parts of it when it's not plugged in or anything, and some of the little lights will start glowing because you have a faint electrical charge in your body. Where does it come from? Oh, it's just it's coming from the floor or something, the ground or the air, like the air. Okay, but it's like, how did it start then? They're like, oh, because amino acids formed because lightning struck something that just randomly exploded, and all these things. None of it makes sense. It's never gonna make sense because it's a lie. Prove it. Technology came and stole my living again. Ain't nobody buying records no more. So catchy. Oh, well, they cut off all the bread that used to keep us fed. So thanks for coming to the show. Oh, man. For some reason, I thought it said the technology came and stole my liver again. I mean, it is your liver. You're living your liver. It's the same thing. They stole his living. They might as well steal his liver. So that's how I heard it. Isn't it interesting that these words, they're meant, a lot of them are meant for when you hear them for them to be similar. That's an echo of ancient languages. Ancient languages were far more intelligent than English. Far more intelligent. You've seen what I've done just with a barely understood alphabet. A barely understood alphabet is what I'm doing to get all this. I haven't had that much time, because I'm making so many videos and stuff. I haven't had time to really go over the roots yet. I'm just using the alphabet. So it is more Greek, Latin, and then now all the way to English. It's lesser languages. They still are good at describing things, but they're not needed. They're needed for people who stepped away from the original language, you see? So now English and Latin and Greek are a bridge for people who have been alienated from their original language through the pharaonic, the sons of pharaohs, the ideologies. You could become a son of Pharaoh. I might have some pharaonic blood. If you look at the profile on my face, I mean, I'm Germanic, original Germanic, not like the Frisian Germanic that speak the Frisian is a language that came before Old English, and then Old English evolved into the English of the forefathers of America, and then now we have this like trashy ghetto version. Um, but yeah, that's where my genealogy comes from, is Frisian Dutch. So if there's any pharaonic in there, I can see either what they bred into the most in my face or them themselves. I don't know. It wouldn't matter. They say a lot of Europeans are related to Ramses or or Tutankhamun or one of those guys. They say like most Europeans are. They can't help that. But yeah, this is Semitic, like the nose, and it's Semitic, so there's no real knowing. But there is some pharaonic people that do have the face part, but I think their heads might not look the same shape. I don't know. Doesn't matter. And there's another one. Let me look at this. 27 minutes. Yeah. 30-minute mark is usually when I like to get into stuff that I think attracts bad attention. Because usually what happens is if somebody hears something that offends them for whatever reason, it doesn't even have to be against TOS. If they flag it, sometimes it's just lazy or it's the AI or something, and they'll just take the video off because someone flagged it. Doesn't really have to be anything in it. So I'll usually wait 30 minutes just because some people, I don't know, they want to live in America but then be the opposite of what they think America is. It's really weird. It's the land of hypocrites. What's it called? Let's see if I can do this. Yeah. It's called Babylon ruled them. And it's supposed to be them, but they're Jamaican, so they say dem. But remember, demolition, Democrat. Standing so I can see them beneath the morning sky, all those who seek to climb so high to ensure the river Jordan will not run dry. All of the tears run out of the valley high. O Aden Masada, I fear the war's out. It's interesting. The Jordan means to descend, because it descends to Egypt. It's telling you it used to be connected to the Nile, but I don't want to get into that because I already did in the Ecclesiasticus episodes. Tell Father they've come, oh tell Mother they've come. Lord forgive they, for they have stamped on the ocean. It's maritime admiralty law. Oh forgive them who trampled by the wayside. Lord forgive them who trod upon the ocean. Lord forgive them for all of them they don't know. Remember, they're Jamaican, so that's why he's speaking like that. They sit there robbing the poor. We shall stand upon the lies they told, rocking the boat that they stole. Remember, Babylon rule them. Dread iron dread. And then he goes like, ha ha ha. His voice is really funny in this one. It's Babylon Ruled Them by Don Carlos, band Groundation, Hebron Gate. So if you look up that Babylon Ruled Dem with a D, D-E-M, Groundation. Okay, it's really catchy. And his voice is like very interesting. I don't know what this means. There's slang in some of it. It says dem a payaka want to live and be so free. Yeah, now if them want to live now, shelter we. I shall shelter us. Oh Father, they stole another one, another country poor. Oh, another one, another country poor. Well, now the youth man say. Well, now the covenant say. Now the youth man say. And the government now they don't know. Now they don't see. Drop people don't want to. Believe them no more. They are deceiving no more. While they sit in their illusion wondering how Babylon ruled them. It's so weird. So them masses have cried, and I left them all out to suffer in this ghetto while them trampled out. Oh, my soul brought you them. See, some of this, when he's talking about Ethiopia, I can't read this. If you listen to the song, you don't understand. Standing so I can see them beneath the morning sky, seeking to climb the ladder so high. Remember Jacob's ladder? Oh, the mighty Jordan will not run dry, so our tear drop from the valley to the sky. Oh, they don't know they sit there punishing the poor, while all my brethren are locked up on the floor. Give us our justice, and we will seek no more. Remember Babylon ruled them, dread ion dread. They want to be so free. If you want to live, now shelter we. Dear mother and father, come look at me, flying so peacefully. Oh, now, so now the father run upon the shed. Dear sistren, come upon the ocean. My Idrin run upon the shed. I don't know what this means. Dear sistren, run upon the I don't know. Now they don't siege, our people don't want to. Believe them no more, they are deceiving no more. While they sit in their illusion, wondering how Babylon ruled them. So crazy. And you see how he says Babylon ruled them, but he doesn't even understand that his language is Babylized. I can't understand some of the stuff he's saying. I don't know. They think it's cool or something. It's like, bro, like, I don't know what the heck you're saying. And like parts of the song. And it's like, oh, I hate the Babylon. I hate the Babylon, but they do Babylon. And I'm like, what? Wait, what'd you just say? You hate Babylon, but like you're babbling. Isn't that? Anyway, it's still a nice song. I just wanted to share it. So now we're at the 33-minute mark. That's a perfect time to play these videos. So I'm going to warn you, it's not too pleasant. This is Carol Baker of the CDC, 2009. And I'll give the full clip after this one. But it's with Trump too. And I'll give the context because it's not a fake video. I looked it up. Somebody already has posted it with a title that's against TOS, so I guess I'm allowed to show it if somebody even has a title with the quote on it. So let us watch this.
So I have the solution. Vaccine refusers. I'm not talking about, well, hesitants, most of them we can talk into coming to terms, but refusers.
Solution.
We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States. We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States. We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States. We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States.
We want to get to the solution. When a vaccine is ready, the U.S. government will deploy every plane, truck, and soldier required to help distribute it to the American people as quickly as possible. We have the mightiest military in the long history of humankind. We have the best and most devoted workers ever to walk the face of the earth. And now we're combining all of these amazing strengths for the most aggressive vaccine project in history. 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 There's never been a vaccine project anywhere in history like this.
We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States.
But you don't have a choice. People act like you have a choice. People don't feel like going to the stadium when they might get infected. Normalcy only returns when we've largely vaccinated the entire global population. And
we'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States.
You have no right not to be vaccinated.
Look
You
at Ben
have no
Stiller
right
up here.
not to
This
wear
guy
a
looks like Ben
mask.
Stiller.
You have no right to open up your business.
Wait,
If
can I stop you?
state- yeah,
No
if
right
the state-
not to be vaccinated, meaning if they decide you have to be vaccinated, we have to be vaccinated?
Absolutely. And if you refuse to be vaccinated, the state has the power to literally take you to a doctor's office and plunge a needle into your arm. If the vaccination
Where is that in the Constitution?
We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States.
Okay. People don't want to go to a stadium if everybody's gonna give them a disease. A disease. So they have to have a vaccine. What's he laughing at? Normalcy won't come back until everybody gets a vaccine. That dude laughed. I'll show you the full clip just so that you. It's real. It's real. This lady, she says she's a minority too. Oh, white? You're white, but you're a minority? Oh, gee, I wonder. These are the daughters of people who speak so boldly about what they're doing that their daughters, when they start getting older, are just like, let's just get rid of all the whites in the United States. And it's like, oh, if you look at the context later up, she just meant, it's still wrong, but she just meant to keep letting immigrants in until whites don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, you're not gonna gaslight me. So here's the full clip.
Fight. The battle is being fought. One family, one physician, one health center. That's why we're doing as well as we are. We're talking about the minority and strategies against the minority. So I have the solution. Every study published in the last 5 years, when you look at vaccine refusers, I'm not talking about, well, hesitants, most of them we can talk into coming to terms, but refusers. We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States.
Simple as that.
Because Houston is the most diverse city in the entire United States. There's 7 Asian languages spoken in that city.
7 Asian. Oh, she's fine with China.
I've been a minority for more than 20 years in the city of Houston. The majority is, we call Hispanic. That is not a race or an ethnicity. That is a political designation. But a lot of them are from Central, South America, Mexico.
Dude, she heard her father or uncle say that so many times, and she doesn't know that 90-something% of people either think she sounds disgusting or just super, super haughty. And like, come on. It's just a political designation. She's not wrong. But a lot of people aren't going to be comfortable with that information. That's why they start coughing in the back. They're like, what are you doing?
Guess who wants to get vaccinated the most? Immigrants.
Oh, boy. Oh, red hair, bowl cut. She's white, but she thinks she's in a minority. Gee, I wonder what she is. I want to tell you a story about a little man, if I can. A gnome named Kathy Baker. She has no filter because she just is on Prozac or something. Dude, do you understand that? People just say this is 2009. It's 10 years before the happening. we'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States. What guy just couldn't help but go, like, you hear the guy in the background, he's just like, what did Lady say? Did she just say this on camera? Like, I don't know if she knew, and then she's just like, you see how she's a space pirate? The space pirates just see people as political designations and numbers. It's like, oh, our numbers aren't good. The numbers show that whites refuse it. Whites, quote unquote, whites refuse it more, and immigrants don't refuse it as much. So, space pirate data decrypted. It's like, we'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States. You know who wants to get vaccinated? Immigrants. It's like, what? Who is this? What is she? Okay. I'm going to tell you where these redheaded white minorities come from that have no filter, and their rich banker uncles or daddies say this stuff and they think it's normal, and then they go tell it on a hot mic or on camera, and they just don't really know what they're saying. Like, I had a friend that would do work for Jewish families, and walked in one time, and they didn't really know who he was, so a little kid saw him, and he literally said, like, get grandma and mom and put him in a room. There's a goyim in the house. He's like 4 years old. 4 years old, and he spoke perfectly. And he's like, there's a goyim in the house. Like, get it. So, this isn't attacking. This is what they experience. They write articles. People that came from strict, different Hasidic sects and stuff, they just come out with this stuff. Or like, oh, this is how it was growing up in this community, and they write a book or something. Like, it's not me. It's not my opinion. And then their daughters get to be like part of the CDC, and then they're like, let's just get rid of all the whites. And the guy's like, Carol Baker, Carrar, 2009, 10 years, decacycle. Isn't that what the space pirates measured in, mostly? I think it was decacycles. 10 years after that, it's 2019. So, let's get into this next video. It's Egypt. And it has to do with, remember I mentioned Giza and the pyramids? And who built them, and the names and everything. So now, at 44 minutes, going into 45, it's the perfect time. So let me start this.
Making sure that this monolith cube represents their Illuminati wisdom.
Right.
The Temple of Dendur had to be removed from its original site in order to save it from being submerged by the construction of the Aswan High Dam.
So there's a dam in Egypt, and it would have submerged a temple. So they took it and gave it to America as a gift.
In 1965, the government of Egypt presented the temple as a gift to the United States.
1965, right after Kennedy was shot. Dam. Blood. We went over what dam means.
Which was ceremonially represented by Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. That's quite a coincidence, considering the aqueduct in Jackie's reservoir led us to the very temple she received. Was the former First Lady playing the role of Isis?
I don't know. And see, now that's what happens with Isis, is that Osiris is chopped into 12 pieces. Isis puts them together and brings them back to life with her tears, but he doesn't have his procreative member, so she makes one out of clay. Take with that what you will. There we go.
That the cornerstone for the Statue of Liberty was laid in a Masonic ceremony. Researcher Jim Allison has connected the dots and
let me make this bigger.
identified the triangle between Giza, Pharos, and the opening of the Suez Canal.
So Pharos is the lighthouse. Pharos is aligned with Giza. Remember what I said? I didn't even know this when I was telling you guys this stuff. Remember when I said that Giza, they used water and all kinds of other ways to make short waves and a light to blink on top of the Luxor. Why do you think Luxor is called? It's basically a city of light. These people had ways of probably redirecting gas for light, natural gas pipes, all kinds of crazy stuff that marveled people back then. But they can only concentrate it in somewhere like Egypt or a port somewhere with plenty of water. You understand? Water is instrumental in it. They have a giant river, Nile, and the Mediterranean. They can handle it. Now they're spreading it all over the world. 5151. 102. It's interesting. Anyway, so they open up the Suez Canal because it's birthing something. Do you understand that now they've completed the triangle? And I think they did it in like the 50s. I wonder if it was 1951. That would be weird. It was in like the 50s or something. And so now the Red Sea, Sea of Reeds, reeds are borders. They represent the border of Egypt. Sea of Reeds is now opened into the Mediterranean, which is opened into the world. These are the rituals that they do.
The angle of this triangle matches the slope of the Great Pyramid and looks like the Greek letter delta, which beautifully echoes the Nile Delta.
That's Daleth. That is to invoke, and it's a doorway. So a birth canal would be something like that. And it's literally the Nile birthing into the Mediterranean. Mediterranean. It is telling you underneath this thing is something else. It's Eden. Do you understand that what the Nile is draining itself into is where Eden used to be, and Israel is just closest to where it used to be, to where all the rivers parted. O Jerusalem, all rivers flow from you. It's figurative.
The Colossus of Rhodes was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world.
From the angle of this drawing, it looks like he is urinating into the ocean. He might have been. They might have put a fountain there to baptize them, the boats in urine. Not actual urine, but water. But that you're baptized in Cronus's or Helios or whatever it is. You're baptized in his in the water that comes from his you know what. Because you look at this picture how it is, I bet you anything they put a fountain in there to do that, because they're all about that. It's probably why it collapsed. It was probably like so just abominable in the sight the most high that it had to collapse. It was bombardable on anybody's site. Everybody probably hated it. Somebody probably sabotaged it. Guarantee you they probably put a fountain in there, and they're hiding that.
World. The giant statue that stood on the island of Rhodes depicted Apollo, god of the sun, who also wore a crown of 7 rays. 7 rays is very interesting in light of the culmination of the initiation ceremony into the cult of Isis.
This is where it gets serious. So, what did they learn from the Colossus of Rhodes? Think about the Rhodes Foundation. Look up the Rhodes Foundation on your Obama phone or wherever you're at right now. Go walk into a Best Buy or whatever they're called now. I don't care. An Apple store. They have phones in there. You can go on the internet and you can look this stuff up in an Apple store. They can't tell you what you're doing. It's like, I'm testing out how fast the internet is. Oh, sorry, sir. So, what did they learn from the Colossus of Rhodes? Well, that you got to put some clothes on it, or else everybody's going to hate it. You can't be that blatant if there really was a fountain like I'm theorizing. So now it's a torch. Now it's all about you. And she is wearing a robe to cover it up. And is welcoming you. You see how it's like, now Lucifer has to be... See, that was just the devil. Straight up devil. Colossus of Rhodes. They're like, okay, we got to give the Lucifer this time. Cover her up with clothes. Call it a her. Oh, it's your mother now. It's your sister. It's your girlfriend. Ooh. You understand? It's Helios, though. That's a male. That's why the robe don't come off. The metal statue. The robe does not come off. You can't take the robe off the Statue of Liberty. You understand? There's a reason. Because you'd be shocked at what you saw. The 7 points. Isn't it interesting that this stuff starts in 2019, the end of 2019? So 7 points, ISIS, 7 years would end in the end of 2026. December 2026.
According to 19th century author Edward Schur, after a successful initiate survived all the harrowing tests and triumphed over death by fire, water, and temptation of the senses, he was led into an inner sanctum.
Remember when, what is it, Hillary said that Putin took her into his inner sanctum? Look up Hillary Clinton inner sanctum quote on your Obama phone or Apple store.
Where he looked upon a colossal metal statue of Isis, crowned with a diadem of 7 rays.
This exists. They call it Artemis, though. This exists in Tennessee, I think it is. Tennessee, I think it is. And it is a replica of the Roman Pantheon or something. It's a giant Roman temple to Artemis, or Isis, where any American can go through this initiation. Just go to Tennessee.
I believe 7 is ISIS's secret number.
Trump was 70 years old, 7 months and 7 weeks when he was inaugurated. Something like that. Look it up. Look it up on your Obama phone.
ISIS's son Horus was god of the sun. Just
not the sun, in my opinion, but the eclipsed sun, and then also referencing the setting sun because of what it means. But it's also the ceremony they do underneath the eclipse is why their word Ra means to go down or to beat into pieces. I don't want to get into it, but if you've ever seen Pulp Fiction, nobody does anything till the last letter of the alphabet, Z, gets here.
As Apollo depicted in the Colossus of Rhodes was god of the sun to the Greeks.
It was actually probably more like the rays from the sun, because it was supposed to be an arrow. Apollo had arrows that either healed or destroyed. Just like Akhenaten didn't necessarily worship the sun, it was saying that the heat rays or the energy that comes out of the sun is part of his energy, but it wasn't his true essence. See how this guy was like trying to reach up and out, and was like, no, God is something else that's not actually physical. And then they're like, dude, this guy's going to ruin our whole priesthood. So they got Tutankhamun in there, and they assassinated the guy and put Tutankhamun on it. That's why they praise Tutankhamun. He's an antichrist. That's why they praise Troy, the city of Troy. The city of Troy was an antichrist. Paris was an antichrist that stole somebody's livelihood and government. It's like stealing someone's woman.
You'll see that the Statue of Liberty's base star is quite odd, having 11 points. I think this was done to make the number symbolism in the Statue of Liberty fit an important Egyptian structure, the Great Pyramid of Giza, whose height to base proportion is 7:11.
7-Eleven, 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven. You have to know the song. 7-Eleven. Quickie Mart. Who needs a Quickie Mart? Now here's the tricky part. Oh, won't you sing with me? 7-Eleven. You know what 7 times 11 is? 77. Let's see. Inauguration was 2016. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I think Trump just turned 77. If somebody can look that up live, that'd be cool. But it doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure Trump just turned 77. Seventh son, I'm a seventh son. Seventh son, I'm a seventh son. Man, that song's wild. Listen to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. All there. Great Pyramid of Giza, 7-Eleven. You know Trump accidentally called 9/11 7-Eleven one time? Look it up. Look up Trump 7-Eleven on Obama phone or an Apple store or whatever you're watching this on right now. If you downloaded it from Telegram, which is, put all this out. I don't have to, but I do because it seems necessary.
Like the famous convenience store's name. And if you didn't get 11 from the base star, the height of the statue from heel to top of head is 111 feet, 1 inch.
Hey, what's up, guys? Gon's here.
All right.
For the
He's 78. So he probably just turned 78 because his birthday is Flag Day. You can't make that up. His birthday is Flag Day. So he just turned 78 then. He would just turn 78. So while he was 77, he was gone a lot. He was in court a lot. He can literally be initiated in that way, but I don't think he has to be, because remember I said I don't think he has ties to anybody. He doesn't have ties to anybody. They all have ties to him. You see, these Kabbalists, these Soviet Kabbalists in the state that calls itself Israel, believe he's the Messiah. I showed you the Super Trump song. All right, so remember when I said that we're entering a time of silence? Because of when I was reading about the heaven, or when I was talking about the heavens being silent for half an hour in Revelation, I'm like, I feel like we're entering an actual serious period of silence. The next time I went to church, which was the other day, Sunday, I went to a small town church, and for some reason the pastor's microphone didn't work. Remember I said this is fourth dimensional technology? Fourth dimension is the heavens. his microphone, when he had to teach it all third dimensionally. His fourth dimensional technology was silence. You understand? The heavens were silent for half an hour. If this technology is fourth dimensional, when the heavens are silent for half an hour, however long a half an hour in this sense is, that's all of our technology. So I'm going to have to go over this other video in the next part. So I'll see you probably at 12 or sooner. This is just too crazy. Let's cheer everybody up and play the wake up video again, because I really, really, really enjoy that video. All right, that's what we're
gonna. Things to cover here, but I look to Dr. Sherwood. Are we moving?
Joe Biden, wake up. Joe Biden, wake up. 9/11.
One of the things that I strongly believe is
Joe Biden, wake up.
I should probably go home. I'm tired.
Joe Biden, wake up.
Joe.
I'm tired.
Joe Biden.
What's happening?
Joe Biden, 9/11.
What's happening?
Joe.
Hello, Mr. President. Wake up.
You should have to pay nearly $6,400 more than you would today.